That's why people don't trust us. Or that's why people assume we're just going to take care of the problem because that's what we've always done. That's why people say, oh, she won't be mad for long. It's fine. Don't worry about it. She's not going to do anything about that. It's because of the actions we have repeated over and over and over again in the past. That's how people figure out who we are. Welcome to the Farmish Kind of Life podcast, where we talk about homesteading stuff and life stuff and everything in between. Join me, Amy Dingman, as we explore big questions on a little farm. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Farmish Kind of Life podcast, where we talk about life and how to live a good one, whether you live on a farm or not. Thank you for joining me here today for episode 263. Today is January 15th, 2024. How are you doing? Today's topic is you are what you repeat. We're going to do some hard-hitting truths today that nobody wants to talk about, but we're going to talk about it because that's what we do here at the Farmish Kind of Life podcast. But before we get to that, what's been happening on the Lifestead? Well, I will tell you, winter has definitely arrived here, finally, to Clucky Dickens Farm in central Minnesota. The cold temps are here. Those super sexy below zero wind chills have finally arrived, and I will tell you something. The older I get, the less I like it. I feel like I'm standing out on my lawn in the cold, saying, get off my lawn. I just feel old and crabby and cold, mostly, is what I feel. But the wood stove, the outdoor wood boiler is running. It's warm in the house, so that's good. And we got our coffee, so that is awesome. What else? I have to make a confession here. Maybe not a confession. I need to clear something up here. In the last episode, I was talking about how it's really important for you to go through your checking account. Do we call it a checking account anymore? I think we do, but it's weird because we don't write checks anymore, right? Checking account, bank account, whatever. You're going to go through your accounts and you're going to look for all those automatic charges, usually in the form of some kind of subscription. We're going to look for those and see, do we really need to subscribe to them? Can we maybe subscribe to the cheaper version? Do we really need to, are we using the thing that we are subscribing to, basically? And because there's a lot in there that you probably don't even remember you're paying for. You might not even use anymore. So stop those subscriptions, y'all, right? So I had somebody listen to that episode and jokingly tell me, it's kind of ironic that you talked about that, Amy, because you yourself sell a subscription to your Farmish papers, your snail mail newsletter. When you subscribe to it, it is generally set up on an automatic annual payment that comes out of your PayPal account. And so they were jokingly pointing this out, but even if it was jokingly, I do want to bring that up. There are a lot of people who subscribe to the Farmish papers who have it on auto payment through PayPal because that is how the subscription is defaulted to be set up when you set up a subscription through PayPal, okay? I want you to know that I have many people who subscribe to the Farmish papers who pay me through PayPal, but they are not on automatic subscriptions. I actually invoice them every year separately. So it's not an automatic payment. I have had people who have subscribed automatically and then they email me and they say, take me off automatic payments. So if you are subscribed to the Farmish papers and you don't want to be on automatic payments because you want to have that invoice and then that action of saying, yes, I'm going to pay this thing, because you need to have that tactile, or I guess it's not tactile, but you know what I'm talking about. You want to know, okay, this is coming out of my account. It is a conscious decision for me to take this out of my account. If you want to set it up like that, you can set it up like that with me. And perhaps I need to be more forthcoming with that information on the page for it on my website, that you don't have to be on auto subscription, even though that's how it's set up when you first go into it. There are also people that pay by check. There are also people who pay by Venmo. Okay. So if you subscribe to the Farmish papers and you don't want to be on auto payment, let me know. Email me at amy@afarmishkindoflife.com. If you want to subscribe to the Farmish papers and you haven't because you're like, I don't want to have anything on automatic payments, I want you to know you don't have to have it on automatic payments. And there you go. I also want to point out that if you are at a point in your life where you are trying to pay down debt or you just need to get real about the money that's going out and you have decided, you know what, Amy, I love the Farmish papers, but I need to stop paying for this for a while. I need to cancel my subscription. I need to pause my subscription. I don't want you to feel bad for saying that, okay? I want you to be cool with your money and do what you need to do with your money. So please don't continue to subscribe to it because you think I'm going to feel bad. I want everybody to get the Farmish papers because I think it's kind of cool. But if it's not in your budget right now, it's not in your budget right now. And that's life. So I'm just putting that all out there. All right. Episode 262 last week was just nudging people to check into those auto payments and those auto subscriptions to make sure they know what's coming out and what they're paying for, and if they have the correct versions of the apps that they really should be paying for, all of that. That's all it was for. All right. What else? Here's what else I can tell you. Kind of, sort of related. If I had like some celebration music in the background, I would put that on right now because my husband and I, just paid off the first debt in our debt snowball. We paid $1,312 to pay off one of our credit cards. That was the first debt that we were attacking. And that was relatively easy. It's funny, when you look into everything, you're like, why are we not just paying this off? That's stupid. Why do we have this bill? So attacked that one, felt really awesome. And now we're going to work on the next one, which is going to take a little bit longer, the next debt. But that it was always fun to see that debt number going down. All right. I think that's really all I can catch you up on. It's cold and I have coffee and I paid off a credit card. So there you go. With that, we will head over to the main topic and we're going to talk about what I mean by you are what you repeat. A couple months ago, I grabbed a little bowl of Kodiak oatmeal to have for breakfast. I was getting ready to leave, and so I'm having this quick breakfast, and I peel off the cover of this bowl of oatmeal so I can add the hot water to it so it can sit. And as I'm peeling off the lid, something catches my eye under this lid, and it's words. And I'm like, what the heck? There's something written under this lid. And so I look closer at it, and there's a quote written under this lid, and it says, "You are what you repeat." And I don't know why, but for some reason that morning, that quote just really struck me. And we weren't even yet to the New Year's thing. We weren't to, let's make resolutions and let's, talk about goal setting and all that. We weren't even to that part of the year yet. But my brain just started thinking about this quote, "You are what you repeat." And I started thinking about how we're all known by our actions, right? You think of anyone in your life and you know them by what they do. Like when you think about them, you know them by the things that they do. You know them by the things that they don't do. You know them by their character, okay? We're known by our character. And what is character? I think character is built by all the things you do, stacked on top of all the other things you do, stacked on all the ways that you've responded to situations that have come up along your path, stacked on all the choices that you've committed to or completely given up on, right? All these things that we do and continue to do and repeat doing throughout our life kind of builds our character and shows people who we are, right? So you are what you repeat is a reminder about the truth of habits. We repeat habits. Habits are created because we repeat an action. And that can be continuing to go to the gym. You build a habit to continue going to the gym. Or we can be talking about something totally different, like continuing to return to a toxic relationship. That is also a habit. It's something we repeat. You are what you repeat. And that quote, "You are what you repeat," reminded me that it's the things we do over and over and over again that is what people actually pay attention to. They pay attention to our kindness to other people, if that is something we repeatedly do. They pay attention to our willingness to go the extra mile, to step in and give a helping hand. If you think about people in your life, there are people who always lend a helping hand. They always go the extra mile. They're always very kind. They are always very giving. You know that because of things they have done in the past and things they continue to do and things they repeat doing over and over and over again. You also know people that continually oversleep and they are late. You know people who continually overspend and have no money. You know people who will say, it's going to stop today, whatever that thing is. And yet it doesn't stop today because their actions prove otherwise. This is one of those things where actions speak louder than words, right? You can say anything you want, but what did you do? And then I really dug deep into this quote, you are what you repeat, because I was wondering, are we honest with ourselves about the things that we repeat? Are we really honest about that? Can we take a step back from ourselves, away from our intentions and our self-talk and all of that babble? Can we step away from that to take a bird's eye view to see what we are actually honestly doing? Because that's what everybody else is seeing. And that's what people are basing their assessment of who we are on. For instance, do you think there might be a valid reason that people don't trust you? Do you think there might be a valid reason that people just assume you're going to take care of the problem? Whatever the problem is, you're just going to take care of it? Do you think maybe there's a valid reason that people know, oh, she won't stay mad for long. She won't do anything about it? You think there's a reason maybe people might say that about you or other people? Do you think there might be a valid reason that people will assume that if they mention they're short at work, that you'll agree to pick up the extra overtime? Is there a reason for that? You guys, there is a valid reason. You want to know what it is? It's because of all the actions that we have repeated over and over and over again in the past. That's why people don't trust us. Or that's why people assume we're just going to take care of the problem because that's what we've always done. That's why people say, oh, she won't be mad for long. It's fine. Don't worry about it. She's not going to do anything about that. It's why people know that there are certain people where they say, man, we're really short. They know there's certain people, if they say that around, that person is going to say, oh, I can pick up some extra overtime. It's because of the actions we have repeated over and over and over again in the past. That's how people figure out who we are. You are what you repeat. The tough thing is that you are what you repeat will follow you for a very, very long time. Because people's brains get kind of cemented with who you are by what you've repeated in the past. Like they see the track record and they figure out who you are, and then that's kind of stuck. You know, if you've always paid people back, they're going to assume you're always going to pay people back. And if you are someone who has always shown up late, they're going to assume that you're always going to show up late because that's what you've always done. And when you get to a point in your life when you're like, I don't want to do that anymore, and you decide you're going to make a change, it can be really hard to undo what people assume about you because you've taught them otherwise, and people kind of get stuck in that. So it can be hard to undo what they assume. And you know what? That can either work in your favor or it can work against you, depending on what the situation is. You are what you repeat. You are what you have repeated. And we may understand the concept of you are what you repeat, but there's actually a second part to it. And I think that's really the one that we need to latch onto. And that second part of you are what you repeat is that we teach people who we are by what we repeat. We teach people what we're okay with by what we repeat. We teach people what's acceptable in our life by what we repeat. We teach boundaries by what we repeat. We teach people what to expect from us by what we repeat. And I know it's a common question for people to say, who are you? Or, we want to get into these deep thoughts and see all these fancy, pretty memes on Facebook that ask, who are you? Do you know who you are? If you've ever had a really tough time putting a finger on who exactly you are, maybe what you should do is take a step back and ask yourself a question. What are you repeating? If you are what you repeat, ask yourself, what are you repeating? Be brave enough to take a bird's eye view of your life and go, what actually am I repeating? Doesn't matter what's going on in my head. Doesn't matter what I'm telling myself I'm doing or telling other people I'm going to do. What am I actually doing? So ask yourself that question. What are you repeating? And when you come to terms with that, when you get an answer for that, then you have a decision to make. Because you have another question to ask yourself. And that question is that who you want to be? If you are what you repeat, and you figure out all the things that you're repeating, is that who you want to be? All right, there you have it. Those are my words for you today. Pay attention to what you're actually doing over and over and over again, because that is who you really are. And that might make you feel really awesome, and it might make you feel not so great when you dig into that. But it is definitely something that we need to know, because that's the only way we can fix what we're doing. If you would like to check out some of the other things that I am doing, I know I already talked about the Farmish papers at the beginning of the podcast. So if you want to get a little bit of this whole deep thoughts and farmish thoughts and life stuff in your actual mailbox, like your postal mailbox, you can do that with my snail mail newsletter. It comes every month. It is $40 a year for U.S. friends and $50 a year for anybody outside of the U.S. Yes, I do send internationally. And I think Canada and Australia are the two other countries that I send to besides the United States. So check that out if you'd like. You can find links for that in the show notes. Otherwise, just go to my website, farmishkindoflife.com. You'll find everything you need there. Another thing you can do is you can head over to my YouTube channel, Farmish Kind of Life, over on YouTube, and you can watch some videos if you want. I am trying to build up some watch hours over there. So if you want to go over there, find my playlists, look at some recipe videos or podcast videos or some how-to videos. I got lots of stuff over there. You can check those out. The other thing you can do is share this podcast. I want this podcast in lots of people's ears. I want to be talking about life to lots of different people, because that's what I like to do. So share this podcast with your buddies, with your friends, with your loved ones. Share it with someone you don't like. I don't care, but share it with someone today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. You could be listening to literally anybody right now, but you chose to spend another day with me. So thank you so much for that. Have an awesome week. I hope you stay warm wherever you are, and I will talk to you again soon. Hope you enjoyed the show today. To continue the conversation, visit our website at afarmishkindoflife.com. Find A Farmish Kind of Life on social media or drop me an email at amy@afarmishkindoflife.com. Peace, love, and bacon, y'all. Stay farmish.